Hello to you, Emanuel Shahaf.
Hello, hello.
Identity, the quest for Israel's better future. Right now, this conversation, this interview is being held during the last attack between Israel and the Palestinians, the missiles that are flying all over, also here in Tel Aviv, and also the citizens, the Arab citizens, the Israeli Jewish citizens that are attacking each other in the Jaffa, Akko, Lod, Jerusalem. What is your perspective towards the Israeli Arab citizens right here and right now after the last clash?
And this is to a large degree the perfect storm. All the things that Israel hasn't dealt with over in its 70 years of existence and has pushed under the carpet are boiling up. And first of all, of course, the discrimination over many years of the Arab minority here in Israel, which is the main issue which needs to be addressed. And that is, of course, based on the basic premise that we do not recognize that there's another nationality here. We don't recognize the Palestinian nationality. We don't recognize them as another nationality, and we legislated the nation-state law, which basically said that they cannot express their national feelings in the state of Israel.
So now they are expressing their feelings.
Yes, now they're letting us know what they feel about this, and as long as we don't deal with this, this is going to come up again and again and again. Okay, now to deal with this is a major issue, because it goes to the basic definition of the state of Israel, which is right now defined as a nation state of the Jews. If it is defined as a nation state of the Jews, which without declaring that the minorities have equal rights, this will continue. And the only way to get over this is either to change the nation-state law, which is unlikely going to happen, or to make basically a major revolution of our system of government and of the state of Israel. We have to found the state of Israel again. This is really what we have to do.
So you're saying basically that even or because of the last violence that is happening also by Arab citizen extremists in Israel, you're saying the only deep solution would be giving them the recognition as equal parts of the Israeli state.
They have to become equal citizens in the full sense of the word, which means they have to be equal nationals, okay, and equal citizens. And the only way we can do that is by combining nationality and citizenship, which we haven't done until now, okay? Israel is, I think, one of the only countries, if not the only country, where nationality and citizenship are not identical, okay? You have Jewish nationality or Palestinian nationality or a few other nationalities which the state recognizes, but your citizenship is Israeli. As long as there is no identity between the nationality and the citizenship, there will always be discrimination against non-Jewish citizens. So we have to change that. We have to make the state into an Israeli state with Israeli nationality, where all the people in the borders of the state are Israeli nationals and Israeli citizens, and whatever nationality, what other nationality they have is secondary.
Listening to you, people from the political right wing, what would be your message, your unique solution towards them? How can you convince them?
First of all, the state will remain a Jewish state by virtue of the fact that there will be a majority of Jews living in it. What we propose is a federation between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean, not including the Gaza Strip. It would be a two-third Jewish majority. The borders would be along the Jordan River. There would be no need for withdrawal, so the right wings would have pretty much everything they want. and all the national feelings that each national group may have will be expressed in the federal units in which the federation is split into the cantons in our case. So there will be Jewish cantons which can give full expression to the Jewish national feelings, and there will be Palestinian cantons where the same can be for the Palestinians. The federal state will be a democratic state where both groups of cantons will work together.
So no occupied territories?
No more occupation. No, that'll be the end of the occupation. And it'll be true equal citizenship for everyone.
So people also from the left wing might be the right audience to start with, like understanding that the federation, the new identity solution that you are reflecting in your book, in your movement, is something that they should embrace, wouldn't they?
It's a little strange because until now the left in Israel has been pushing Palestinian nationalism more than the Palestinians, even to a certain extent, and that is something we have to overcome, and we have to also help them overcome the fear that that will be the end of the Jewish state, which of course it will not be. The left is very hesitant about anything which is not a two-state solution, but I think it will be a good idea if the left would return to its own basic values, which are equality. And I think the left in Israel is the only leftist movement in the world which advocates for separation based on ethnicity, which is basically a two-state solution. Okay, I think they can join all the other lefts and say, let's all be equal in one state with one citizenship and one nationality.
And no occupation, and no
and
apartheid.
No occupation, and definitely no apartheid. Yes. Yes.
Towards the Palestinian Authority, Abu Mazen, he thought about going to the election. He postponed them. What would be your message toward the Palestinian Authority in your solution of the federation?
The Palestinian Authority will not be receptive to anything which is not a Palestinian state. The Palestinian people will be. Okay, so that's something we have to. There may be, if there will be international support for this kind of solution, it may be possible to start convincing the Palestinian leadership. But this is going to be very tricky because the first one to speak up, he'll have a very hard time. So, but I've been talking to diplomats, to European diplomats, who are also trying to nudge the Palestinians to alternative solutions, but for the time being that hasn't happened. So this will be a major political task, which will take years, and we'll need we need good leadership to make this happen. But in my view, it's the only way we can go ahead.
So it's interesting. You're saying that from your perspective, it's a movement that can go more easily bottom up from the people, from the basic understanding.
Yes, the leadership is clearly behind the people. The people are much more open. Also, the Jewish people in Israel, and also the Palestinians are much more open to such an alternative, which would make life very, very good for all the population, which is basically what everybody wants. Okay, but the leaders are still stuck on the old paradigms, on the two-state solution, on annexation, on all kinds of ways which are not acceptable anymore today.
Let's talk a bit about the Biden administration, who is trying to be more and more involved also in finalizing and creating a ceasefire here right now in the Middle East. What would be your message to them here and now regarding the federation movement?
I think the Biden administration, first of all, they're trying to stay out as much as they can. They're only now getting engaged in trying to get the ceasefire, enact the ceasefire. The best thing they can do is encourage the discussion of alternatives, without just coming up and saying, you've been talking about the two-state solution for decades and it's not going anywhere. Let's discuss alternatives. Once we have support of the U.S. administration to discuss alternatives, not that we can't without it, but that would be a major, it would make a major impact.
Like free your minds.
Yeah, free your minds. Think, open your minds. Think of alternatives. The moment that happens, that'll be a big thing. The Europeans can be helpful just as well, but it's much more difficult in Europe to get a change in policy because they have to get all the different countries online. In the United States, it's the president, so the help may come from America in that way that they maybe support. For the time being, it's on us.
Totally understood. Emanuel Shahaf, for the time being, on us, identity, the quest for Israel's better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.